Good evening, everyone. I'm Simone Sanders Townsend, and we begin this hour with the continued destruction of American democracy. I know, it sounds bleak, but look, it's only been 2 months since billionaire Elon Musk and his Doge officials started bulldozing their way through every federal department, ruthlessly slashing employees across the country. Yesterday, Elon Musk met with congressional Republicans to reassure them that everything was great amid voter anxiety over those sweeping cuts. Musk and Republicans tried to map out a path to make all of these changes permanent and impervious to legal challenges.
Did he say anything to some of the concerns that he needs to slow down, take a little bit more of a cautious approach?
No, I mean, I encouraged him to go as fast as possible because we're going to lose our guts. 100, 150 days. This bunch is going to, oh man, that's cutting into my...
What Congressman Tim Burchett is cheering on, let's just be very clear, are mass layoffs, including reports that the Department of Veteran Affairs would terminate 80,000 employees. Congressional Republicans, along with President Trump and Elon Musk, are facing growing resistance across the country and in the courts. These actions are, in fact, wildly unpopular, which probably explains why Musk is reportedly unhappy and doesn't like taking the blame. The tweets would like another word. This afternoon, President Trump made quite a show of coming to his defense and explaining to the press and the public that it wasn't Musk who was directing things, even though Musk really is.
So I had a meeting, and I said, I want the cabinet members go first, keep all the people you want, everybody that you need. Elon and the group are going to be watching them, and if they can cut, it's better. And if they don't cut, then Elon will do the cutting.
Well, the New York Times is reporting that cabinet members have been privately concerned about some of Elon Musk's actions and have voiced those concerns to White House officials. This vague proclamation, which is more performative than factual, came shortly after Trump announced that he was suspending new tariffs on most imports from Mexico and Canada until April. Now, his tariffs, or taxes, frankly, on the middle class, that's what they are, they have sent the stock market plummeting. And while Trump doesn't seem to care about the American public, he does listen to the markets. Joining me now is Republican strategist and MSNBC political analyst Susan Del Percio, former SDNY civil attorney Maya Wiley. She is now the president of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights. She was almost the mayor of New York, but that's another story. And Paul Rieckhoff, who's the founder and CEO of Independent Veterans of New York and the host of America, and the host of Independent Americans podcast. Paul, I'm actually going to start with you because I laid it out for the people. Elon Musk now doesn't want to take the credit. I don't even think the president wants the credit. They're trying to push it off to these cabinet secretaries. And one of the most, I woke up this morning, I did Morning Joe, and I was like, not the veterans, not the VA. What is going on?
Well, we said it before we went live here. This is some unique bull, right? I mean, it is outrageous, it is despicable, and it's predictable. We knew they were coming for the VA. And they've been working their way down the federal government. They started with generals, then they got to trans people. Now they've come for veterans. They're going to come for teachers. And veterans hold a very sacred space in this country. And I think what they're failing to appreciate is 83,000 people who are laid off are going to be 83,000 pissed off Americans who start protesting and start pushing back and start organizing. And really, I think what's going to happen here is the patriotic purge from the Pentagon to the FBI is going to become a very important core of the opposition, a patriotic, nonpartisan group of people who want to serve their country and think this is wrong, especially the way it's gone down. Right? It's one thing to fire people, but to fire 83,000 people who are, many of which are veterans, like you don't care, and to treat them so disrespectfully, that's where I think they're really crossing a line that's going to come back to bite them.
I mean, I would not disagree. I think, and again, the president, I think, is responding to the markets, but also Republicans, frankly, within the party, whom I know, and a bunch of my colleagues from NBC News on Capitol Hill have talked to folks. I've been talking to folks. They're calling the White House and privately being like, WT, you know what? Donald Trump signed an executive order today that would make it expensive to challenge the legality of all of his dubious orders. I want to play the sound because I'm confused, Maya, but maybe you can clean it up for me.
This presidential memorandum would order the Department of Justice, its litigating components, to seek those injunction bonds whenever someone tries to challenge our policies in court, so that when they end up losing in court, and we believe that they will end up losing in court, that they can be held financially responsible for the disruption to federal activities that their actions have caused.
What?
Well, let's just make a couple of things clear. What we just heard was, if you read between the lines, is we're getting sued because we're violating the law by overstepping our authority, and we're losing because a lot of these cases, judge has been, at least in the short term, losing. Let me be clear, because a lot of them have not been finally determined. But in the short term, we have a lot of judges in a lot of jurisdictions saying, temporary restraining order, preliminary injunction. In other words, we think there's enough grounds here and enough potential harm and enough reasons under the law to think we got to stop you now before you harm people, because we can't fix all that harm if we wait. And so what they're really trying to do is say, we are telling you that we're going to do yet another way of weaponizing the Department of Justice by directing them to make you afraid to file the suit in the first place, or to try to make it more expensive for you. So even if you're not scared about the price tag, we're going to tell you that we're going to do everything in our power to make it too expensive. But it's not going to have the impact. We need to keep this in mind. Judges don't have to agree just because the Department of Department of Justice asks. A judge can say, yeah, there is no reason why I would institute an injunction bond. But all it is to say, if you don't, actually, when you're in injunction, you're putting up money against what would be a frivolous case and what would cause financial harm. Hard to say that the financial harm to the government of the United States of America requires us to prevent people from vindicating their rights.
What's so funny about that is that it reminds me of Donald Trump when he was a builder and would basically let people...
Come on, Susan.
Right? Like he would say, go ahead, sue me, let's go to court. And he tried to outlast all, especially the mom and pop places that did work for him. And he just knew the longer he stayed in court, the more unlikely he would have to have someone suing him, which you fast forward, as he knows, the more you stay in court, guess what? The less they're going to be able to come after you. They may wear them down, and then you get to become president again.